You have heard of the Yeti, the abominable snowman. That is, of course, not an animal or a pre-human being. That is originally...
Okay, I got a couple requests to do a Illustrator tutorial. Now, I'm not an expert on Illustrator, but I do know some pretty cool techniques, and I'll show you how to make a simple logo like I have shown here. Just some basic text. We'll show you how to use some cool little things to make some professional looking graphics, and this is going to be geared towards beginners like myself, like I have done in the other videos, and hopefully you can create something that you can put on your blog or website or whatever. So let's go to Illustrator. As you can see, I got a new document open already. You can make it whatever size you want, if you want to make a banner or whatever. And notice I got a layer here, and I went ahead and made a rectangle on here. You just go up to your rectangle tool, and I just drug it over the entire length of our banner. Now down here are our fill colors. I'm going to fill this with a gradient like I showed in the example there. Now we get a gradient that goes from left to right. I want mine to go up and down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click and hold, left click and hold the shift key, and just pull down. Something like that. That's good enough for me. So I'll go ahead and make a new layer. Go down and hit your create new layer button. And now we're going to go to our text tool. And just click there on a document. And we'll type our generic text. We'll go be creative again. And obviously we're going to make that bigger. Go up to 72. And there you go. So now we're going to kind of style this up a little bit. The cool thing about Illustrator is we can select individual letters or whatever and change the color of them. Well, we can probably do that in like Photoshop or something too, but I'll show you what makes this so cool. We'll make this text white. See how the creative is now white? Now notice we don't have the stroke color. The stroke is the outline and the fill is obviously what color's inside. We can actually make a stroke color on just this word. We'll click on, make sure the stroke is in the front. In Photoshop you have foreground and background. In Illustrator you have stroke and fill. Now like I said, the stroke is going to be our outline. We can actually outline this text. So we have a white fill, we'll make a black stroke. And there you go. That's pretty cool. Now to the fun part. We'll get into that kind of trendy, reflective text that I showed you in the original example, which you see a lot of on these Web 2.0, they like to call them, these new trendy designs. So what we're going to do, we're going to duplicate this layer, and we got a copy of that layer. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to copy that again, just for a backup. Oops, we're going to select this layer, and here, hold on. We are going to duplicate our copy, and we're going to rename our copy to backup. And I'll show you why we need a backup in a minute. And we'll rename this one. This is going to be our reflection. And this is just our original text. We can name that text whatever. But let's go to our, we can actually deselect the layer backup, unclick the visibility. That's just a backup, so we don't need it. Go to our layer reflection. What we're going to do this time is go to type, create outlines. Now you'll notice that makes all the little anchor points there. It creates little vectors for this text. It's no longer text. It's not editable text anymore. It is just the vectors with the anchor points. And like I said, we can't undo that unless we immediately undo it. Once we get on, we can't go back. That's why we make the backup. If we make a change you didn't like, we can always just go back to the backup layer and start all over again. Now after you want to type create outlines, go to Object, Expand, and we'll keep the fill and stroke selected. And we'll deselect just to show you that it didn't do anything special. We'll reselect that layer again. Select all those anchors, and now we're going to go to Object, Transform, Reflect, and I'll just do vertical. And then we're going to, you'll notice that's not how we want it. We'll go to Object, Transform, Rotate 180 degrees, and that's what we want. as you'll see, that's the reflection we're looking for. Select that and move it down, and we'll move it to where it looks like a reflection, just like that. Deselect it, and it looks pretty good. So now, like I said, this is no longer editable text. So we're actually going to go to the stroke and fill colors. Select that layer, and as you see, has a question mark for fill. Doesn't really know what the fill is. We're going to make that a gradient. And you can't really see because of the anchor points, but it's actually a gradient going from left to right again. We're going to click our gradient tool just like we did at the beginning, and do one up and down. Let's deselect to see what that looks like. And I don't like that, so select it again, and let's try another one. And we'll just go with that. Doesn't really matter for this one. Now keep it selected, and now we're going to click on this transparency tab. And you'll see here's a option for opacity. We'll pull this down to about 60%. You'll have to excuse the noise in the background. There's some yard work going on outside. Now deselect. Now you'll notice, looks like a pretty cool reflection, and it blends in with the colors. Now, if you try this and you say, hey, it's not really giving me the colors I want, you might have to go to your swatches and then keep your gradient palette open. And you might have to pull some colors in here to match the color of your background. You can do that. And you can, if I wanted to pull another color, say I wanted some green in there, I can just pull it right on there. And now it has a gradient that includes a green. If I don't want that, I can just pull it right off. Just to show you an example, if I wanted to actually add green to that fill, I will pull this gradient right on there. And now it's a green gradient. Just go ahead and undo that. But there you have it. You have this new, cool, professional looking banner. Well, this is just an example, but you can actually do some really cool things with it. We'll go up, File, Save for Web and Devices. It looks pretty good. I'll just keep the default settings and save it. We're going to replace that one. And there you go. You can upload that to your website or your blog, and you could actually import that to your Photoshop and put some different brushes and things on it like I show you in my other tutorials. And there you go. It's a cool way to create professional, really cool looking, high quality designs, and you really don't have to know that much. Just go in and play around with things like I did and figure out some pretty cool things. So there you have it. Have fun with it, and thanks for watching.